How is it going, people? I see Mark's already here. April's been about. Ribsy's here and suggests we use robots to play rugby. Novmum, how's it going, Jasmine? Super Rugby Aotearoa was good while it lasted. Yeah, I haven't seen the latest news. Has the game actually been cancelled? Last I checked, they were saying they were going to wait to see what happens. Let's have a look. Last I see on the Blues Twitter page, anyways, New Zealand Rugby assessing the impact on rugby and in constant dialogue with the government. So, yeah. Anyway, Ribsy chose this game. Ribsy picked this one. I was meaning to put a poll up on Patreon, but I didn't. I'll do that next time. April's chosen games before. Ribsy's chosen a game. Yeah. I think Mark might have even chosen a game once. I'm sure something about Ireland, Chicago, New Zealand. But yeah. Yeah. So yeah, New Zealand's in lockdown. Level 2 for most of the country, like where Jasmine is, Novmum, and level 3 for us here in Auckland, which means slightly stricter. Jasmine says we're supposed to take her daughter to a college open evening, but that was postponed. I'll bet it was postponed. Mark says a Scarlets jersey. Dear God, what happened? Another Patreon guy named Carl sent me this one, and I haven't really had a chance to wear it, so I figured I would put it on. Tim says he's got a day off. I don't believe it, Tim. I thought they were working you to the bone. Bro, we're back in lockdown here in New Zealand. Back in lockdown. Ribsy, I should have picked something way worse than this game. I can't actually remember the result. So yeah, there you go. I didn't look it up. The Big V8 show. Apparently one of the infected people traveled to Rotorua for a trip. Yeah, my wife has been on at me to travel to Rotorua. Like, we need to take a trip. Let's go to Rotorua. Well, yeah, glad we didn't book that one. April, we had a mad, crazy storm last night. I haven't seen it for anything like it for ages. Yeah, the weather here was a bit yuck yesterday, but nothing like what you're describing. The main things here is people panic buying, toilet paper, all that same stuff. Same stuff. Thought we had experience with this already. You don't need to panic buy toilet paper. And there's the last toilet roll in the chat. I was one of the brave few who predicted the Brumbies to beat the Lions in the 2013 tour. Damn. Jordan, how's it going, Daramundi? How are you? Novmum, my dad was in Rotorua the same weekend, but doesn't look like he went to the same place. Now he's back in Tuakau. Nice. Saw you back in lockdown. Does that mean the games are off? Still, I haven't seen any later news on it. Last I saw was they're still going to wait and see, because I think technically the lockdown's just for 3 days, which would mean the rugby would be back on, but I can't see the lockdown only being 3 days, to be honest. Sorry, bro, ugly jersey. It's red. We got the Reds playing a team in red, plus it's a European team. There'll be European players, the Lions. Right. People panic buying. Oh, you better believe they're panic buying, April. It's mental. Absolutely. Oh, Mark. Okay. Yeah. If there's one thing the Scarlets jersey is not lacking, it's sponsors. They've filled up about as much real estate as they could get with sponsors. I went out and bought some beers. Fittingly, I bought Corona. So there you go. Cheers, Mark. Hope you're well, sir, over in the States. Our pack and save has limits on things like toilet paper. Yeah. We were planning to get some as well. I'm just going to get one pack. The COVID thing is not a gastrointestinal thingy, so yeah. Ducks Quack, netball was called off. Imagine the rugby will be, yeah, either called off or no fans. Because I think level 2, which is what most of the country's in, still limits like large gatherings. So yeah. Lime or lemon with my Corona. Generally, I think I just get what I'm given. I've got nothing tonight. But yeah, cheers again, Mark, for that. As I said, hope you're well, brother. Lockdown's a bit extreme to stop. Scott Robertson breakdowns again in Park. Yeah, God forbid we see that at Eden Park on that hello turf. Right. I've got the Queensland Reds versus British and Irish Lions stream up on my TV. I'm watching you guys on my laptop. I hope you guys, if you are going to watch the game, have got that set up, because I'm going to get mine cracking in just a moment. I believe I put the link to the game in the description if you guys are going to watch along. So, yeah, let's get this one cracking. I'll be starting the game in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. It's only an hour and 23 minutes, so I believe they've cut out any and every little bit of mucking about. I had a cold recently. Apparently you'll be better at fighting COVID. Something about T-cell immunity. Yeah, I've had a bit of a sniffle, which I picked up from my kids at daycare. So, still got a little bit of it. It's like a real nagging, just little annoying cold. But if that makes my corona immunity higher, power to it. If you are watching this one, by the way, the Reds are the team not wearing red. Leo, hello Howie, back to school tomorrow for you, Leo. School's just been called off here, man. Everyone's staying home unless you're the children of an essential worker. That would have been a yellow today. The Lions are red and the Reds are white. Yes, Mum, that is correct. Not the ideal uniform choices. Did I get new glasses, Tian? Yes, I did. I got them remarkably cheaply from my university because we have an optometry clinic there. However, they've got a lot of glare. I notice a ton of glare. So, there you go. Maybe you get what you pay for. Now would be a good time for New Zealand Rugby to have the North-South Island State of Origin thing. They should they fail to find international competitors. Yeah, if they can play those games. With the COVID thing being back. Like Ribsy said, it's interesting to watch the old games to see what stuff used to fly and what stuff no longer flies whatsoever. Noah, how are you, mate? One team should have worn black shorts. Yeah, that probably would have helped. Love, Mum. What's the deal with the stage changes? Where's my mouse pointer gone? Stage changes. Seen it all over the team's social media. You mean like the stages for our levels? Like at the lockdown? What uni do you work at? Just Auckland Uni, man. Auckland Uni. Man, even Stuart Hogg was playing back in 2013. How old was he then? I thought that was him, but I couldn't believe it. Man, Michael Vunipola's there. Jeez, a lot of these guys are still around. Do you think Blues Satyrs will be cancelled? I reckon, man. At the least, it'll be behind closed doors. I think it'll probably be cancelled, especially seeing as the competitions are effectively being won by the Crusaders already. Can't even believe my country bumpkin town of Waiuku is actually part of Auckland Super City, but Wellsford is ridiculous. Oh, man. That's, yeah, my mate lives out of Waiuku. I go see him sometimes. He works at the steel mill. And he said, For him to call Auckland City, it's actually a toll call, but he's still counted as living in Auckland, so that's kind of funny. Which faculty, Trey? No, I'm not with any of the faculties, bro. I'm with Central Services, so not with a particular faculty. Bro, man, the Reds have started this game with a hiss and a roar. The COVID levels, Hog was the youngest in the tour, got played at 10 for some of the games to keep Sexton fresh for test. Okay. Bro, the Reds have to score here, surely. Whoa, they're like 2 meters out. Alert levels are like there's four. Four's the highest. Oh, they've knocked it on the Reds. That's brutal. Four means basically everyone has to stay home. The cops will pull you over if you're just driving around. The only people who are allowed to work is like hospitals, police, supermarket staff, and even restaurants have to close. Level three is a bit relaxed, so like takeaway shops can open. You can get like I bought this beer from a liquor store through the window. I'm not allowed to go into the store. You're still supposed to work from home if you can. So that's what we're at the moment. Level two still got restrictions on gatherings, and then level one is pretty much no restrictions except you're supposed to like keep track of the places you've been. Man, I've got an ad, and I'm gonna skip the ad. They don't need to play the Blues Crusaders because Crusaders have already won. It still would have been nice. It still would have been nice. And April says, "Gosh, it's a fast game so far." Yeah, like I said, man, the Reds have just started like crazy. Who do you think is the most complete rugby player today? Mills would run, kick, pass, tackle, clean out, ruck, pick and go. Who's the most complete? Which backs actually like getting in there at ruck and maul time? I was there on that wing when David just got stopped. Really? You actually went to this game? Nice. It looks like it's sold out, or pretty much. Pretty good crowd. Got 2 points currently relevant to each other. Jesse Parter won Super Rugby for the Crusaders. With how unbelievably bad he played, the abundance of sponsors on the Scarlet Stop annoys you. You're almost better off selling the real estate to one big sponsor instead of 7 or 8 little sponsors. Who's a really complete rugby player? There are some forwards who can do stuff like Artie Savi is pretty good. He can jump with a line out. He can pilfer. He can run. He can tackle. He can clean out. He can't scrummage like as a front rower. But he's certainly pretty well rounded. Kind of hard with the crowd to see who follows who, with both teams are in red. That is a problem. That is a problem. Hurricanes, Highlanders, I reckon it'll be behind closed doors, man. Rest of New Zealand's in level 2, and level 2 still limits gatherings, so I can't imagine they will allow 20,000 people to get together. Plus, like I was on the roads today because I went to our office and then we had to distribute some gear to guys in various parts of Auckland for their equipment so they can work from home. Bro, Tommy Bow. Go, man. Bounce pass. Oh, just in touch, I think. Just in touch. Carl, yes, bro. It's been too long, man. I haven't had the chance to don this thing, so I figured today was a good day. He's in touch easy. Yes. Yes, easily in touch. Most complete back, Isan Nathiwa. Blair Kinghorn, Geordie Barrett, Nakarawa, and Scott Barrett. Michael Hooper. True enough. So I'm a Scarlets fan. The Scarlets top is actually the last one of the Welsh teams that I got. Which one was the first? Was it Dragons? Dragons, Cardiff. No, Ospreys was the first one I got. Scarlets was the final. Carl sent it to me, so. Out by a mile, says Ribsy. Yeah, that was one you'd probably like the touchy to make a call, but I guess it's a British and Irish Lions game. They want to check everything. Reece Hodge. Bro, he can certainly play a certainly good number of positions. But yeah, you're right. If you look at guys like Michael Hooper or Adi Savia, in a pinch, you put them in the 13 channel or on the wing. They're probably going to do a job for you. Loads of Fijian players seem complete enough to be able to slot into multiple positions. One of their loose heads plays sevens, crying out loud. Bro, I was just about to, as I started reading your comment, I was thinking of him. I remember when I was doing the World Cup previews of the squads, and I looked at Fiji's squads, and I didn't know everybody. But then I looked, and I was like, he's a prop, and he plays sevens. Like, that's just not right. How are you a prop, and you play sevens? Really hope the Aussies do better internationally. I think Dave Rennie's a good coach, man, so he should be able to get it done. Oh, that line out. Man, so many of these guys are still playing. Must have been a relatively young Lions squad, or maybe it's because it's a midweek game. Or was this a midweek game? Just seems like a really young squad for that time, 2013. Bloody ads, yeah, I'm getting a bunch of them as well, April. Will I be watching the Pro 14 Premiership when it starts next week? Yeah, I reckon I will, man. I'm not sure that I'll be able to see every game because I don't even usually get to do that with Super Rugby, but I think I would like to pick maybe like a game of the week or something to watch from each competition. What do you reckon? Sevens players are usually more lean as they have to do a lot of running. Yeah, most of them aren't usually built like props, eh? Yeah, Farrell looks so young. Goodness me. What do I think of Samoa's new coach? Didn't I also read that Lima is now the sevens coach? Lions bought like 50 dudes for this tour. Reds weren't supposed to put up much of a fight. But like I've seen Farrell, I've seen Ben Youngs, I've seen Marco. Like those guys must have been quite hog at fullback. Like these guys must have been like babies on the international scene. It's been another knock on. Have you been to a Lions game? I think I've only been to one. 2005, I didn't get tickets. And 2017, I only got tickets to the Blues Lions game. That's the only one I've been to. I tried for the tests, but was fat out of luck. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck might be coming to the Blues. He used to be with the Blues, man, in their like youth development squad. It'd be like the Blues to sign another league player. Edinburgh Glasgow on the 22nd could settle all the Pro 14 semi fixtures. How has that worked? To be honest, I haven't been following it that closely. So they've cut the two South African teams for the rest of this season. So does that mean they're just proceeding on with the competition, but just taking those South African teams off the log? So they just keep going with the same points, like Leinster's still top of their conference and whatnot. Owen Farrell, 21 years, they've just said. 21 years of age. Glasgow, Edinburgh will be an amazing game. Edinburgh's pack is the Scotland pack, and Glasgow's backline is the Scotland backline. Nice. Lockdown in Auckland again over a proven fake virus. Proven fake virus. Lockdown does suck. Basically, first in each conference go to the semis. Second and third play the other conference for the place in the semis. So they've taken the existing standings and just removed the Cheetahs and the Kings. Is that right? Edinburgh win, they finish top. Glasgow can't make second. Leinster already top. Yeah, Leinster's unbeaten, right? Viruses are not contagious. Isn't the common cold a virus? Yeah, they weren't getting a top three anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Makes sense. I think the Aussie Super 8 idea would cancel out the Rugby Championship because test sides are made up. Maybe, I guess. Two Kiwi teams, I guess if it was like the Crusaders and the Blues, would be like half the All Blacks. Less than half. Can you do a video on the English Premiership? I might watch the odd game. I don't know if I'll do them for the channel. I'm still debating whether to actually do like previews, reviews for Premiership or Pro 14. Like I definitely wouldn't be able to do the whole competition, but I might be able to do single games, like Game of the Week. The Lions are wearing different socks to their kit. Is that because the Reds kit being the same? Bro, I think they've worn those style socks before. Big Will. Yes, bro. We are at 18 minutes on the YouTube clock. So 16:21 on the match clock. Corona is in hand. We have Corona in Auckland, so we're under lockdown, bro. I'm sure you heard the news. So, yeah, there you go. Pro 14 isn't including third place this year. It's just first, second. Is that right? So first, second, conference 1 play each other. First, second, conference 2 play each other. And then those 2 winners play the final. Oh, bro. There's that try Ribsy was just talking about. Holy crap. That was pretty good. That was pretty bloody good. And there's my man Mike Harris with the bib on. I couldn't remember his name to save my life the other day. What's on my bucket list? What rugby games do I want to see live? Goodness me, how many can we name? Yeah, no problem with that. Do you own a Northampton Saints rugby jersey? I do, bro, but it is a it's a player jersey. You know how you can usually get like the fan jerseys, like the replica, or you can get like the match jersey, which is like the proper stretchy fabric. It's really tight. I don't like to wear it because it makes me look fat. Too many beers. That's a bloody good try, bro. And it's being followed up with an ad. There we go. Oh, yeah, games that I want to see. Definitely Six Nations games. Haven't seen any live. I'd like to go to South Africa to watch some games. Oh, that chip and chase. Poor hog. Like I want to go to Loftus. I would have liked to go to Newlands, but that seems to be that ship's gonna have sailed. Sad about COVID-19 being back in the community. Let's just hope it's a small area that's affected. Interestingly, one of the people who got it works at like a chilled. Is it like some cooler, like refrigeration place, like where I guess where they deal with frozen stuff? And I remember China had another outbreak, and they said it came from like frozen salmon. So I don't even know if it was like a traveler connection or if it was like a frozen food thing. I don't know. Bloody game has as many ads as Super Rugby AU has penalties. Yeah. Rugby.com.au is getting a bit of ad money from us today. Although I'm skipping most of them, so they're not getting any ad money. Of course, COVID is in the community. You can't keep it out forever. Trying will ruin your economy, risk cancer patients' lives, and not achieve what they want. Frozen prawns. There we go. That's what it was. So maybe that's the connection here in New Zealand. Maybe we have to be careful with imported frozen stuff. Some people are using this outbreak to say New Zealand's strategy of trying to eliminate it is all in vain. And I feel like the New Zealand public is like, first lockdown, it was successful. Cool, we're on board. Second lockdown, I think people are still like, okay. But seriously, if it just becomes like lockdown, open up, lockdown, open up, lockdown, open up, I feel like that will lose people's support pretty quickly. Yeah, the ads. A few people complained about my videos having too many ads, so now I usually put them in manually. It's a pain in the ass. And YouTube tells you, just let us put the ads in for you. We'll put them in at the right places. Don't worry about it. Leave it with us. And admittedly, sometimes they put in like 5 ads in a 10-minute video, and it's like, that's probably too many ads. So I usually just put in 2 manually. English Premiership Rugby starting this Saturday. What's the biggest game here's trouble. Here's trouble. Nah, it's too big. Too big, too big, too big. Man, how old was George North at this time? I think he came off for Tuilangi as well. How old was he? Such a young squad. Yeah, what's the big game of the weekend in the Premiership? No ads here, although do get ads on your phone. Yeah, maybe you've got an ad blocker installed. It is in vain. The more risk locking down, you run out of money, not being able to control health issues. Yeah, the New Zealand government just keeps borrowing. Just borrow money. Borrow, borrow, borrow. New Zealanders care about our nans and koros. Yeah. It's funny as well because my aunt, who's like 60, called up. She spoke to my mum from Australia, and she was giving, because she's in Victoria, she's under lockdown, and she was giving the government shit, basically saying, oh, all these old people who get the coronavirus, they were going to die anyway. And I said, bro, you're 60, man. And she's like a big lady. Like, she's like a prime candidate for complications. It's like, man. Quinn Sale, Sarries, Bristol, or Wasp Saints? Sarries, Bristol sounds like a pretty good watch. I have YouTube Premium just because I like Google Play Music, and it comes with the fact that you don't get ads. It does stop ads. Did you only get the Scarlets jersey recently? I had it for a while, but I haven't worn it on a video. So this is the first time I think I've worn it. I haven't had one ad here. I'm not fussed with ads except when I'm watching full games of rugby. Yeah, I feel like they could have put fewer ads in. Yeah, because there's been a lot, at least on my end. Is it the Bulldogs fan? No, she's another aunt. She's not really into the AFL. She's more into church stuff, which is also weird. She's like a real hardcore Christian. I would have thought she would have been more for not spreading virus. I don't know. I think she's kind of pissed off because she doesn't get to go to her church groups anymore. Saints Bristol will be good. Yeah, I think that sounds pretty tasty, actually. We aren't all in sync because some have had something. I am at 23 minutes and 30 seconds on the match clock. That's where I'm at. And yeah, we can probably sync back up at halftime. If you don't want to fall asleep, if you don't want to sleep on the 19th of September, there's an AU final followed by 4 European matches. Oh, goodness me. I like watching the Champions Cup, but whenever it's on, I do get a lot less sleep. I'll admit it. I always have to get up early for at least one of like the 4 o'clock in the morning games. Have you seen Auckland Schoolboys game, King's Grammar? I saw the highlights. Somebody else sent me the link on Twitter. I think maybe that's one we can put down on the list to watch on a Wednesday if people are keen to watch a Schoolboys game. Verna, you have beer in lockdown, no beers in South Africa. Yes, we have beers. What can I say? Only missed touch. You can only hope enough Kiwis do the right thing at this point. Wear masks, wash their hands. I feel like there's a bit of anti-mask sentiment here in New Zealand. The hand washing thing I think is fine. But people don't like wearing masks. It's quite foreign to us. Wouldn't it be hilarious if Sarries failed to get out of the championship since a few of their big names are on new season deals in Japan? Yeah, I saw like Ezekiel. Is it Ezekiel signed for Saints for a year? Some of them are going to Japan. They're going all over the shop. You can watch the replays, yeah, but my kids are in the house, so if I watch the replay, it means my wife is alone with the children. So I at least try and watch a 4 a.m. game, 4 to 6. Kids aren't up. 6 o'clock. Oh, here come the Lions. 6 o'clock, I can get up and help because the kids get up at 6. I can get up and help with breakfast and getting them dressed and stuff. And then once they are kind of fed and clothed, then I can watch another game on replay. So I can usually watch 2 games. Watch AFL, go to church. I'm not sure which you'd rather. What's with the no drinking thing during lockdown in South Africa? People have said in the chat before, it's like people will do dumb stuff if they're drunk. So it's safer. But instead you got people doing home brew. Also read rumours Saracens want to solve the salary cap by sending a few players to the Waikato Chiefs. Yeah. Who was it? Somebody said they wanted... Was it Perenara saying he wants Maro Itoje to come play Super Rugby for a year? Oh, man. Masks are worth it in small spaces, but yelling people on the street is a bit much. Yeah, I think it's mostly indoors that matters. Outdoors, it's not such a big deal. South Africa's going to kick off rugby in September. Yes. That's going to be good news. We miss the South Africans. South Africans have just kind of been having to sit things out for the moment. Everyone's talking about what's going to happen with the future of Super Rugby, and everybody seems to want to exclude the South Africans. You're a really good dad. Not everyone would work around the kids like that, bro. I gotta do that. Otherwise, that's that's not good. I have my moments, man. I get mad at the kids sometimes too. Thanks 2 cents. That's for the channel. It's for my own benefit as well, man. Like, I like watching rugby, so getting up at 4 a.m. to watch a rugby game. I may not have watched it before, but yeah, it's not exactly like torturing myself. Oh, it's a KFC ad for me this time. Aioli, pepper mayo, and barbecue with crispy onions. Effectively, New Zealand are no longer the safest country in the pandemic climate. They're on and now forced to Greenland. I think Taiwan's doing pretty good. I think as well. Fiji. Right, that's one Corona. What's your take on South Africa? South Africa was helped to win the World Cup, bro. I think that article was, at the very least, very tongue in cheek. Yeah, yeah. I think they write stuff on that website, not intended to be taken too seriously. I think I don't read a whole lot of much rugby onslaught, but it seems like grumpy wife. Yeah, I don't want grumpy wife, not mum. Don't want grumpy wife. No. Happy wife. Crispy onions is right. Yeah, Vietnam's had a bit of an outbreak. Vunipola throwing his body on the line. He's throwing his hefty frame at the Reds. He's known for a bit of that, eh? Cool. What the hell happened there? That ball came out spurting. Happy wife, happy life. There you go. Game clock. It's not on the screen at the moment. YouTube's at 33:20. The Lions have just kind of given away a penalty on their own 22-meter line for like flicking the ball out of the ruck. Yeah, G-Man posted a vid, and I read their response on Rugby Onslaught, and that's what made me also think they're kind of being tongue-in-cheek. Cooper has just missed the penalty. Game clock 32:15. Yeah, game clock 32:20 now, and YouTube clock 33:50. Thoughts on Kafer saying Aussies need to step away from losing to New Zealand teams most of the time. It's bad for the future of development in Aussie rugby. I didn't read that one. I didn't read that one. Kafer says a lot of things. Bloody Quaid has no sense for goal kicking. I would like to see what his percentages are like, actually. There's a Twitter account that I just recently followed, which is a quite good one. They called like goal kicking stats, and they got heaps of stats. I'm very glad I found that one. For George North. Oh, what's a pass? Has he knocked it on? Are you kidding me? Bro, Farrell, all you had to do was put it down, man. Are you kidding me? Man, is it? How young is Jonathan Davis there? G-Man needs some backup from 2 cents and Squidge. I think Squidge actually replied to one of his tweets saying that he thought they were like desperate for attention. Being Rugby Onslaught, that is. Oh, he's lost control of it. Farrell, what are you doing? Kafer said it live on the breakdown. I haven't watched the breakdown this week. Did you see Squidge's guide to the MLR? No, I haven't seen it. Maybe I should watch it. Last year, a guy named Alan bought me a ton of MLR jerseys. Like, he and Mark Dunphy have sent me ridiculous amounts of jerseys between them. Alan sent me only MLR ones. And I feel like, because I watched a bunch of MLR games last year as well, I think I'm kind of, or no, it's actually this year. I'm kind of au fait with the MLR now, so I probably didn't think I needed to watch it. But if it's funny, I'll go watch it. Another TMO. What happened there? Has Young scored? And yeah, man, Big Will. Farrell butchered that one, but they might have got out of jail there. That's good with the MLR one? Okay, I'll have to go watch it. I think has he knocked it forward though? Tip about this game. Just a tip about this game, she says it was all Southern Hemisphere versus Northern Hemisphere. Cooper came out all guns blazing. Style of running rugby paid dividends against Moorhead. No clear knock on. Oof. That's probably a 50-50 one, but the Lions will take that. I thought it was a knock on for sure. But fascinating game. First time you watched it. Yeah, I bet. It's been a crazy watch so far. On the breakdown, John Kiln was backing and supporting the Crusaders more than the Blues. John Kiln drives me nuts on that show, man. That's part of the reason I don't really watch the breakdown very often. He kind of grinds my gears. He's a bit of a prima donna. Good kick. "13-7. British and Irish Lions in the lead." Ribsy was filthy about that decision on the day. I thought he'd knocked it on when he was kind of stripping the ball. That was what I felt. But I'm not TMO. Big Will says the TMO, Stevie Wonder. What's the mood like in New Zealand after the new lockdown? I think people are still pretty accepting thus far. But that being said, most of my team, people in my office, have been working from home anyway. So it's not a big shift. But honestly, I reckon if we finish lockdown again, and then are sent into a third lockdown, oh Jesus, what a head clash! Oh, that's brutal. Head on head is not fun. Far out. Yeah, I don't think people will take lockdowns repeatedly for all time. Seems to counter his depression with mania. I know. John Coohan is strange, to be fair. Sometimes he's right on the money. Other times he's just annoying as hell. Yeah, sometimes he makes a good point, but then it's drowned out by himself, like trying to talk over everybody else, which kind of pisses me off. Let's go back to Super 12. There's been a lot of calls for that. Oh, look at George North going. Goodness me, it's young George North. Warburton. Oh, he's brutally close. Did he get it over? TMO. He's going to go TMO again for like the 10th time in this game. Carl Thomas, Scarlets. Yeah, bro. That's the first time I've worn Scarlets on camera. Lots of middle class people don't mind lockdown. It's infinitely harder if you're poor, sick, or alone. 100%. This one's not the strictest of all lockdowns. It's slightly more relaxed than our previous one. And I think the government is still running those subsidies at the moment for people out of work, but they're supposed to expire in a few weeks. Look at Warburton, the strength with two people on his back. Go, son. Cooper's trying to put his foot between the ball and the line. And, oh, you can't see the ball grounded. Big run by George North, 100%, man. Young George North. Held up. Wouldn't rule out a third lockdown unless borders are completely shut, I reckon, here in Hong Kong. Even a third wave caused by quarantine exemptions for air shipping crews, but still no harsh lockdown. Yeah. Yeah, and they've kind of admitted that they're not testing people who are working with people coming back from overseas, which seems mad. Did you throw a dart at the wall and decide which game to watch? Says Jay. Nah, man. Ribsy on Patreon asked me if I'd watch this game, and I said nah. So here we are. You should, if it's on, you should watch Glasgow versus Exeter. It's got some from 2019. I might have seen it if it was 2019. Can't remember it anyway. Quaid did good. Yeah, well, that was, like Big Will says, that was a proper try saver, that one. He knew exactly what he was doing. Almost half time. Can we watch 2013 ABs v Ireland? Ooh, we've done Chicago. So watching 2013 would be the opposite, wouldn't it? Oh man, that scrum is a bit of a problem at the minute. What's European game? Something different? Yeah, could do. Schoolboy game, like Big Will suggested that first 15 game. So we have one wave in South Africa. It hasn't stopped at 500,000 cases. I think our government wants the virus to run its natural course. Werner was one of those 500,000. Bro, I hope you're alright. I think it's a lot of people virtually get no symptoms, right? That's the way to go if you get luck at the draw. Oh, Glasgow Exeter was Tricycle on a hog crossbar challenge. Okay. Was it? I must have watched it if it was a Champions Cup game from last year. I would have watched it or at least the highlights. Fortunately, it's going down 13,000 recoveries and 5,000 new cases in the past 2 days. Jeez. And yet New Zealand's crap and bricks about 4. How am I feeling? I seem a bit stuffy. I've had a niggling cold, or like just a sore throat for like a week. My kids had it from daycare, and then I got it, and it's just a little niggle. I don't really notice it most of the day. At night, I notice it a little bit, and in the morning, I notice it. I wake up and I'm a bit clogged. But apart from that, the only corona I have is this one, so I think I'm pretty good. You're gonna say if you're gonna watch the 2013 game, you need to watch Chicago. Yeah, we did a live stream for Chicago. I'm pretty sure that was at Mark Dumphy's request. He's a big Leinster man, and he has sent me more jerseys, I think, than anybody else. And I could not say no, even though it was kind of painful to relive. And I remember losing money on that game, like with the bookies. But yeah, it was an interesting one to relive. You see stuff you didn't see the first time watching it. I asked Google Home device what's its favorite rugby team is, and it said it's the Barbars due to their socks. Oh man. Reds have conceded a penalty. I think Farrell's going to kick this one. I had symptoms, but I had the luck of the draw, says Werner. Tomorrow's 1 o'clock COVID update. It's going to be very interesting here in New Zealand. Indeed, Jordan, bro. See how many new cases we've got. I think that'll determine how long our lockdown goes. I've been trying to do the right thing. Like, I've been scanning the bloody app everywhere I go. So at least I'm being tracked. But admittedly, I've had a sore throat. Like, a very slight sore throat for like a week. And I haven't been, like, not going out. And I haven't been wearing a mask. So, honestly, that's the kind of thing. Like, if I had COVID and, like, I was a spreader, I'd be angry at someone like me, man. Far out. He knew he had a sore throat and he still went on the bus. What a selfish bastard kind of thing. So, but I guess we're all getting a bit complacent. How many sponsors are on that shirt? I have not counted. Quite a few. At least they're all kind of blendy. They seem to blend for the most part. Why don't you get a test? Oh man, the queues for testing today, they were hours long. Hours long. Probably could though. It'd be the responsible thing to do. I'll count the sponsors later, and we'll see how it fits the most. Oof. Moran's knocked that one on. My husband told me one person he knew went to get a test in Hamilton. Went there after 9 a.m. left around 3 p.m. Yeah, I'm not waiting that long for a test, man. I've been showing flu symptoms and didn't even want to wait in line to get tested, so I guess I'm gonna have to isolate for a bit. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I don't have any symptoms other than I've had a little bit of a niggling sore throat, and like I said, my kids both had it. My wife had it because it's a daycare bug, man. If you got kids who go to daycare, bro, you're gonna get so many bugs like that. What's the rugby nap for the weekend? I'm glad you told me what that means, bet, because I didn't know. I don't know because the games might be cancelled. More important question: with this COVID-19 stuff, does the Bluebird Twisties change their name to Curlies? I had some yesterday, and I thought they were bootleg Twisties. I haven't had the 10 years. Still Twisties, man, and they're on special this week. 99 cents for a bag of Twisties for a proper bag. That's how I put on so much bloody weight over the first lockdown, buying bags of Twisties and Cheezels. Goodness gracious. What time's the match at? The game clock is at 43 minutes and 10 seconds. The YouTube clock is at 50 minutes and 55 seconds. No testing station at Waiuku. Closest is probably Monaco, too far away. Yeah. There's testing stations near me, but like I said, the queues, like it's been on the news, man. It's literally just like a line of cars as far as the eye can see. And people getting turned away. Some guy was on the news tonight saying he arrived and they were like, we can't test you because we're closing at 4 o'clock. Twisties are amazing, bro. I really want some twisties, but I'm trying not to get lockdown fat again. Really poor testing facilities, and that's bad. Yeah, it's one of those ones where they set up all these clinics when there's COVID cases. Everyone who's got even a sniffle goes to get tested, and you got to wait like 5, 6 hours to get a test. And then when we had no COVID and the government was still saying keep getting tested, they were closing all the centers down because nobody was going. I guess it's just human nature. Have you ever tried Twiglets? If you haven't, don't. I've never heard of Twiglets. But April, the testing facilities here are basically you get in your car, you drive in a line of other cars, and then I think you just drive to like an outdoor thing, and then someone just swabs you. Who do I support? The Blues, man. The Blues. Auckland rather than Cardiff. They look exactly like Twisties, but they were called Curlies. Clearly knockoff Twisties. Did they taste like Twisties? Knockoff Twisties can't be too bad. Half of those people probably aren't even sick. That's what annoys me most. Yeah, I would say there's a lot of panic. A lot of panic testing. People who'd be like, oh man, my roommate sneezed, so I better go get tested in case he's got COVID, that kind of thing. Stud front say having 25 players and staff test positive. Yeah, I read about that. I didn't know it was at 25, but I read that it was pretty bad. Pretty bad. Oh, is Sexton coming on? 45 minutes, 40 seconds. Tasted like twisties. There you go. Lots of panic in general. Meditate, people. Yeah. Panic buying. Panic traffic today. Just panic everything. There you go, Sexton. Looking to make an impact, and that's a pretty good kick. Pretty good kick. Aberdeen football team players all went out on a night out, and their games have been called off. That was a bit stupid. Owen Farrell with a legit tackle. Who do you think is the out and out best player in the world? Oh my goodness. Well, it's Peter Steph Tutoya, isn't it? At least last year. If you had to pick one player to take a conversion from the touchline to win you $1 million, maybe Dan Bigger. He's a pretty good kill kicker. It's so hot here, I can't handle it. New Zealand's actually surprisingly comfortable right now. It's winter, but I'm quite happily sitting here in just the Scarlet's top. No need for a jacket. I'm drinking cold beer. Happy days. I've been arguing for an exclusion zone around Aberdeen for years. Oh man, that's a Scottish issue I cannot comment on. Anytime I think of Sexton, I think of calling him Sex Toy, something a lot of Leinster fans like to keep under their beds. Bro, that's shots fired. Are you a monster man or what? Oh, Semi Radradra. He's a pretty absolute player as well. Mornay Stain, he's another one for sure. He's a flippin' radar boot, that guy. Absolute sheep shaggers. Are you talking about the Welsh, the New Zealanders, or people from Aberdeen? There's too many issues here I'm not not familiar with. I am indeed a monster man, mate. Okay. I will try and remember that. Aberdeen. Okay. Well, we get called sheep shaggers by the Aussies. Farrell with a bloody good conversion. Oh well, a penalty. I didn't realise the Scots internally had a thing for people from Aberdeen being sheep shaggers. Pick Mornay Stain over Wilkinson. Yeah, I reckon I would as well. Why'd you pick this game? One of the guys on Patreon asked me about it, so I figured we'll watch it. Basically, simple as that. All I can remember from this is the Morahan try. Yeah, that's true. And it was a cracker. Leicester v Northampton, Nadola versus Naiyaravoro. That's a proper battle of the Titans, that one. If you ever come to Scotland, avoid Aberdeen at all costs. I've seen stuff I'll never unsee from up there, bro. It can't be that bad. Who do you think had the bigger boot between the two stains? Surely Franz, right? The bigger boot. Did everyone forget about Nasbota? He didn't tackle. He didn't run. He just kicked. Grant Fox was the same. I think Grant Fox scored like one All Blacks try, but he had a ton of points, so he's maybe another man to kick it from the sideline for $1 million. Imagine Alabama with a slightly more aggressive accent. Goodness me. Big Will says, I got caught a sheep shag in a pub once, and I said, yeah. Then we export the sheep to Australia, and they turn it into woolly jumpers and Kiwi lamb shanks for dinner. Win-win if you're a Kiwi. And then, yes, your profile picture, which is a happy-looking sheepy. So there you go. Nice kick 60 meters when the leather ball was wet. Didn't he go to the NFL? Tackling was so poor for the Morahan try. Sometimes a bit of poor tackling can make the game a bit more exciting. That pass was forward. Mike Harris. No wonder I forgot your name, man. Knocking the ball on like that. He was a pretty good goal kicker, actually, though. Good stats, I'm sure. Oh, Youngs is having a little snipe and run. Did alright. Damn, no win. The money on Powerball. I'm going to ask for a refund. Oh, did anybody win? We've got a syndicate at work going for the Powerball. The ads on this video, I know the last few ads I've got have all been banner ones, so they haven't stopped my video, but the game clock's at 54:35. YouTube's at 1 hour, 1 minute, and 20 seconds. What's happening with the Blues Sailors game? I haven't heard news yet. Our lockdown is supposed to be just for 3 days, so in theory the game should go ahead, but I can't imagine. Oh my goodness. Bo Robinson just took Mako Vunipola's head to his jaw. He has just been like king hit, man. Far out. He is off on a stretcher. No, it rolled over. Oh my goodness. I have to organize another syndicate then. Robinson out like a light. Yeah, that was like a boxing one where the guy just falls. Yeah, that was painful. That looked terrible. Everyone hating on Gatland for trying to use a power game plan against the Aussies. It worked out in the end. It did. They needed to win on this tour as well because they hadn't won for a while, the Lions. Oh, Radiki Samo's on as well. He's very distinct with that hairdo. Infamous All Blacks third test against the Lions. Oh, that'd be a good one. I haven't been able to bring myself to rewatch that one. From what I've heard from the streams, Aberdeen is the Hamilton of New Zealand. People do give Hamilton a lot of grief here in New Zealand. a lot. I like Hamilton, but that's just me. Do you reckon the Reds will make the finals of Super Rugby AU? Man, not if they get a 45-point hiding every week, but I like to think they could, man. They got a good squad, but boy, did they switch off last week. If there's no crowds allowed at the game on Sunday, they should just cancel it. Not really worth watching the dead rubber in an empty stadium. Have you considered buying Rugby Challenge 4? It's still in early access. It's very expensive, and I heard it's crap, so not yet. I've been playing Fall Guys, which is a bonkers game, but very fun. Looks like it's going to be 50 million must win on Saturday. Okay, I will organize a syndicate with my work. No one likes Hamilton. Bro, I like Hamilton. It's got a river. And Cinder Place. And it's not too far from Auckland. And I should say, if I can swear for a second, they've got a park in Hamilton. Like it's a big public park with all kinds of kids' playgrounds. It absolutely shits all over anything in Auckland. Like, no matter if your kid is like 2 or if your kid's 12, you will find something for your kid to play with. And it's got a lake with like swans and ducks on it. Like, it's like, bro, if you want a free place to take your kids, that's the place. I was amazed when I went there. Hamilton's alright, but the Chiefs suck. Scarlet's jersey is a ripper. The Scarlet's jersey had a bit of a mixed reaction. Some people are not a fan of all the sponsors, but I like it. I got stuck in Hamilton trying to hitchhike out of it. The only time you've ever been. Oh. Pretoria is the Hamilton of South Africa. Really? Isn't Pretoria pretty nice? Challenge 4 is identical to 3. Okay. I haven't played 3 either. I've played 1. When did I start the channel? Like 2018? Super Rugby. All the parks in England are amazing. My son climbed to the top of the green slide at Lake Playground when he was 4. The one that's like a tunnel. Yeah, I think that's the same one. Have I got an original Drua jersey? I do not have a Drua jersey. I don't have any NRC jerseys, bro. The parks in Aberdeen are amazing. Sometimes you get weird old men to look after kids for you, bro. This is going down a channel that I didn't think it was going to go. With the amount of Kiwis in Australia, Hamilton is still the Hamilton of Australia. Johannesburg is the South Auckland of South Africa. Everywhere is a somewhere of something, apparently. Oh, Cooper. What are you doing? He didn't carry that back? Surely he carried that back. Okay. Hey, Darnell, man. How's it going? Cape Town is the Auckland of South Africa. So everybody hates Cape Town. But everyone wants to live in Cape Town. Is Auckland not good? Everybody hates Auckland. I'm not sure if it's the same with like Glasgow or Edinburgh in Scotland. Everybody hates Auckland. The house prices are too expensive. Lots of people drive big four-wheel drives. That cake's too big. we choose a Lions team right now? I did one a few months ago. Did a vid on it. Where I come from in Cape Town, that's the East Auckland of South Africa. Okay. I don't hit Auckland. I'm from Wellington. It's just expensive too. Yeah, it's the house prices that are the killer. What was the reason for making the channel? I used to watch Rugger Matrix on YouTube because there was shows on TV. Remember, someone was suggesting a channel under 500 subs. Basically, I watched the hockey guy who did previews, reviews, power rankings about the NHL when I was getting into ice hockey. And I was like, man, it'd be cool if there was a show like this about rugby. I'd watch that. And there wasn't one. So I decided, bugger it, I'll do it myself. I want to talk some rugby, so we'll see how that goes. And sure enough, there are other people out there who also just like talking rugby. Surprised how similar Auckland and Sydney are. It seems every country's got that one big city where everybody hates it. The house prices are really expensive, but lots of people move there for jobs. Like lots of countries seem to have that city. Oh, another knock on. I guess it is raining. There's been quite a few of them. Ribsy must have been getting soaked. George North, Chipper Chase. Scotland, we call Edinburgh really posh, and Glaswegians, Ouija's Glasgow is the stabbing capital of Europe. Okay. You'll get shanked, but you'll get directions to the hospital. Bro, what's going on here? I turned away for 2 seconds and Frisbee's gone over for a try? What happened there? Auckland sucks because the traffic is shocking. I've lived in China and Auckland's traffic is good in comparison. Do you have a Western Province jersey? I have a Western Province flag, but not a Western Province jersey. I've only got two Stormers jerseys. Let's have a look at this. Big wide pass. And then back inside to Frisbee. It's pretty simple. Damn, how did that happen? Yeah, I was getting soaked by British lads on tour who couldn't handle their beers. And the rain as well. He'll get this. Are you shitting me? How did you miss that? You're supposed to be the radar boot guy. Come on. Fletcher, mate, you're in Cardiff. We're in lockdown, man. We're in lockdown. You're on holiday and I'm on lockdown. Come on. Don't know what's better, Cape Town or Toronto. I feel like Toronto is another city that everybody likes to hate for the same reasons everyone hates Sydney and Auckland. Are you confident 2021 tour will happen? Not confident at all. But apparently the Russians have got a vaccine, so yay. Doc his paycheck. Bro, I know. What the hell? You had one job, man. Kick that conversion. That was a straightforward one. Oh, Hog's having a bit of a mare, isn't he? My granddad was Glaswegian, born and bred, came to Wellington during World War II. When I visited, he would always give 20 bob. Okay. Sydney has terrible traffic to a point. I can take it. I take a train if I can. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like Sydney's public transport shits all over Auckland's, to be honest, from when I've been to Sydney. Heard the bad news, just finished breakfast, so off to the beach. I'm telling you I'm in lockdown, you're telling me you're going to the beach, man? Come on, man. That's not fair. I would trust Jimmy Savile babysitting more than Russia with a vaccine, to be honest. Yeah. I can't imagine that the due diligence has quite been done yet. Sydney was founded, they didn't use a grid system. I feel like Auckland's the same. Some areas don't have very good street planning, but I could be wrong. There's like 11 minutes to go. Oh, the Reds have finally come alive in the second half. They've been under the pump for a bit. I'm putting my money on the Lions test. FNB Stadium, 100,000 fans. That'd be nice. You got a big storm coming tonight. Well, you better get to the beach before the storm, man. Take care of yourself. My mum was always crying in her car when she lived in Auckland. What can I say? I take the bus as much as I can because I work in the city. But I honestly don't think Auckland's traffic's that bad compared to big cities around the world. Auckland's still kind of small in comparison. Unfortunately, it's futile for the Reds. Don't tell me that. I can't remember the result. Surely they can pull it out. Did you hear DTH van der Merwe went to become a firefighter as rugby? What? No. No. Like a firefighter? Did he go back to Canada? Brisbane City is the best city in Australia. Sydney isn't too bad if you like busy lifestyles. Brisbane is for family oriented. Traffic is better. Sydney. My far out. Another Queensland player's gone off on a stretcher. That's the second one. My brother's wife, so my sister-in-law, her parents lived in Sydney for like the last. They're back in New Zealand now, but like the last 5 years or so. They said Brisbane is the Hamilton of Australia. I don't know if that's true. Auckland, we have a whole 1 million people. Yeah, it's the big smoke in New Zealand, but internationally, that's not that big. 10 minutes to go. I like Auckland. All you'd want from a major city, you can get ferries to Coromandel Gulf Islands, which is stunning. Yeah, Auckland's not bad. I don't mind it. I'm from Auckland. However, it sounds a bit dodgy when your selling point of a city is saying how quickly you can get to other places. Hmm. I used to work on the shore and lived in Sandringham, so I was going against the traffic, but that was about 17 years ago. Goodness. Yeah, traffic can be pretty bad, but like I said, I've lived in China and that traffic was worse. Like much, 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 much worse. Left Glasgow this month for Canada and is now a fireman. We've lost our captain, top try scorer, and best ever tackler. Wow, and your coach. Well, he's gone for a while now, but still. Getting expensive to buy a house in the Tron. You think you're moving to a smaller town. Man, Ben Youngs is playing alright. Smaller than Hamilton, so like somewhere still in the Waikato? What's happened there? I suggested this match because it has some great moments of play on both sides, and the Reds give a good account of themselves against the British and Irish Lions. Yeah, no, it's been a good game, man. Quite the momentum shifts, I feel. Like the Reds came out really much better, and they had a period of dominance in the second half. Why isn't Hallwell playing and Digby? They're on the bench there. Are they injured maybe? Or being saved for the Wallabies? Comparing Brisbane to Hamilton, Brisbane is gigantic with enormous infrastructure, makes Auckland look small. I think they were talking culturally, but anyway, I don't know. My dad moved to Hawke's Bay last year, said it was the best thing he ever did. Fair enough. Well, like Napier? Hastings? Do you miss to watch an All Black Springboks game in Auckland? Yeah, they usually play the Wallabies in Auckland, but they might play the Springboks here. They've been putting the Boks in Wellington recently, which hasn't worked out that well for the All Blacks, to be fair. Traffic in London is awful. Trains were unreliable. Biked everywhere. Biking in Auckland sucks because if you have not been to Auckland, Auckland is very hilly. It is not very flat. And the traffic is not very kind to people on bikes. I used to bike a lot in China. Very flat where I lived in Wuhan. And the traffic is pretty used to people on bikes. So no one was really very aggro at bikes. Gotta go, mate. Quick visit. Yeah, bro. Enjoy your beach. I'm finishing off my Corona. Farrell's lining up a shot at goal. 77 minutes, almost. He's not going to miss. Sure enough. Chris, man, you're well late. 77 minutes we're at. The game clock on YouTube is at 1:20:50, so it's like 3 minutes to go. If Quakey wasn't injured, if the Wallabies picked more of these Reds and less Tars, who knows? Still, this game's been alright. Motorists hate cyclists here too, hence that comment just disappeared. Hence my knock still troubles me and causes me to contact. So that's, yeah. I feel like in China, people are just more used to bikes on the road, so they'll still cut you off, but they're not deliberately aggressive. Chris is either really late, says April, or really early for Friday. A minute and 40 seconds to go. I don't think the Reds can do it from here. They're 10 points behind. Had some work to do. Yeah, you and me both, man. I had to go to the office today and bring this chair that I'm sitting on back home. I made that mistake last lockdown, not bringing a chair. Reds got a penalty. A minute 50 to go. Frisbee taps it. Quaid. Harris. All he's done is miss that conversion and get tackled. Man, the players look knackered. Absolutely knackered. Game was fast without the BS, that's true. Are my kids rugby fans yet? My son really wants Blues gear, which is nice to see. I went to the store in town a couple of weeks ago to get the clearance stuff, and they didn't have any Blues gear left, and he wanted one, and I felt pretty gutted that I couldn't give him something. because all the kids' Blues gear was gone. Best player in the world who has an effect on their team in the most terms of the way they play. Ooh, that's a massive question. That is full time. 10-point win to the Lions. I didn't know how that's how this game finished. Really wet second half. But yeah, like Rebsy said, the Reds certainly gave a good account of themselves, and it's amazing to see so many of those guys, especially in that Lions team, who are still around, who must have been on their first Lions tour for sure. Like Hogg, Farrell, man, there were heaps of them. Yeah. I'm going to get Tars gear if they start getting decent. Well, they had a big win the other day, bro. They had a big win. For your cold, you should get menthol crystals and put them in boiling water. Don't touch the crystals, just breathe it in. Okay. Get Young 2 Cents the Stormers kit he so desperately wants. Will I be streaming any Northern games, Jordan? I'll have a look at what kind of time some of the games are on. And then, yeah, we'll see. Because I don't know what's going to happen with the Super Rugby Aotearoa games. Either way, this was the last week of those games anyway. So I'm kind of only left with the Aussie games at the moment. But the Pro 14 is about to get underway. And the Premiership's about to get underway. So, yeah, it might be a good idea to watch some more rugby. What can I say? It doesn't take much to sell me on that. But, yeah. Everybody take care. I'm going to go probably gargle some salt. See if that does anything for my throat. And, yeah. Enjoy working from home tomorrow. I've got a computer set up just over there. So, yeah. Anyway, everybody. Yeah, you guys all take care. And, yeah, I'll see you guys again for Friday's game. I will go with some whiskey. Hot whiskey. Okay. Or vodka or something. Anyway, you guys take care. See you later.